Welcome back. You're listening to Houston Real Estate Radio. We talked last segment about the Texas Veterans Land Board. We were talking a little bit about lending for veterans because we just had Veterans Day. So we want to talk a little bit about some of the privileges that veterans have when it comes to purchasing homes. So this segment, I brought in Mary Papageorge. She is with AmCap Mortgage over in Spring, Texas, and she's going to talk to us about VA loans. VA loans are across the country used by many veterans, have been for many, many years. So we're going to talk a little bit about them because I know you're familiar with them. But if you haven't used one, you want to know the ins and outs of it. So we're going to talk a little bit about VA loans today. Welcome to the show, Mary.
Thank you.
We're excited to have you. This is the first time you've been on the show. We're excited.
I am very excited myself. Thank you for the opportunity.
So let's talk about VA loans. I know you do a lot of VA loans, even though we're in Houston and there aren't a ton of veterans here. We do have a lot of veterans in Houston. What percentage of VA loans would you say you do? Is it a lot of your business, a little bit of your business?
I'd say it's probably about 25 to 30%.
Okay. So do you find that it's mostly people who've just gotten out of the military or people who've been out of the military, retired, been out of the military a long time and going back and using their VA benefit?
A little bit of both, but more of the ones who are already out of the military.
Okay. All right. So VA loans, there's sometimes some controversy over VA loans because a couple of issues. One, we have appraisal issues sometimes with VA loans, and so that's a heartache for a lot of people. But also, VA loans can be. You really have to talk to your lender about your options because sometimes there's a better way to go. Some people can, even though they qualify for VA, might want to go FHA or conventional because it works out. The numbers work out better for them. Would you agree with that?
Sometimes, yes, and a lot of it, it's a little bit different on a VA where they deal with discretionary income. So it's money left over after the bills are paid, utilities are paid. They take out the FICA out of the calculations.
So it's not a gross income.
So it's not a gross income. So they're a little bit more picky on the back ratio, which means your total gross income going towards your debt. Mm-hmm. But I have gone up to 53% because the discretionary income was there, and that's based on the amount of people in the household.
Okay. So on VA loans, tell us a little bit about the process. Is it a lengthier process than other types of loans?
I can close VAs usually within 30 days, even with the new regulations that are in place. Because I know how to get the information up front, we do get as much information as we can in the beginning. And I know how to run the numbers so that when I tell somebody, yes, you're going to get a VA loan, we don't have any fallouts. We know exactly what to expect.
Well, that's good. All right. So what does it take to be eligible for a VA loan?
They have to be in the military. Mm-hmm. Any of the branches is acceptable. If it's during a wartime, then it's only like a 90-day requirement. After that, as long as they have their DD-214, shows that they're eligible. And if they happen to have a veteran's disability, then the VA funding fee does not apply.
That's really nice.
We can waive that, which makes it very nice. Mm-hmm. That saves them a percentage out of the loan amount. As it is 100% financing, there is no mortgage insurance, which makes it very nice.
Yeah, that's good.
And the rates are great. We only need a 620 to qualify.
620 credit score.
Mm-hmm. That's correct. Of course, the higher the score, the better the rate. But but we can get down to a 620.
That's good. All right. Are you seeing problems with appraisals for VA or not? Haven't seen too many?
Well, the biggest challenge on a VA is the appraisal, and that's because they can take up to 9 business days to get it back. But with the market the way it is here in Houston, which is awesome, it seems to be taking about 7 to 10 days to get the appraisal back anyway.
Okay.
Value is an issue sometimes, not always, but it depends on how that house was appraised. And if it was priced right, then we don't have a problem. But you can always go back to the VA appraiser and provide comps, just like you can with any other type of loan, and validate what your value is. Mm-hmm. And by doing that, it gives the listing and the buyer's agents both an opportunity to prove the value. And sometimes they'll agree with it, sometimes they won't. Mm-hmm. But you never know. It's never the same on every loan.
Yeah. What would you say to sellers out there who are contemplating taking a VA loan versus an FHA loan from someone? What would be your recommendation to the seller?
Well, to the seller, they have to remember that these veterans are out here fighting for our freedom. and to give that a second consideration. Yeah. There are some VA non-allowable fees that the veteran cannot pay, but if the house appraises and the VA, the agents have come to an agreement on the sales price, then just add, maybe $2,000 on top of that. As long as the house appraises, that covers the VA non-allowable fees, and the seller is still netting out what they had anticipated getting to begin with.
Do the lenders ever absorb any of those VA fees?
Sometimes, depending on the loan amount. I can charge one origination, not charge any of the VA underwriting fees, lender fees, excuse me. And by charging the one origination, I basically pay the fees for the veteran, excuse me.
For the veteran. Okay, so you've done that before.
Yes, I have.
Okay, because I know some sellers won't agree, to do that. So
that's correct.
Okay. All right, so good. You don't have to have really great credit scores, which is good. You don't have to have any down payment. So, this is a good product for a lot of families out there who want to purchase a home. And
they end up saving money buying versus what they've been paying in rent. Which that's a win-win situation.
Yeah, renting's not a good thing.
No, you're just paying your landlord's mortgage.
So the VA funding fee, if you don't have a disability, what is that VA funding fee that you're paying?
I believe first use is approximately 2.125, and then it goes up to 3.3. Now, if they put down 5%, I believe it drops down to 1.5%.
So they can put money down, they just don't have to.
Correct.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. And I know the Texas Veterans Land Board offers some products to help bring down the rates a little bit and to help veterans. Do you recommend that they put that Texas Veterans Land Board additional rate with their VA product?
I have done both. It is in combination. And the only drawback that I have come across dealing with the Veterans Land Board is that we have to charge a 1% participation fee. Excuse me.
Okay.
And so
1% of the loan amount.
1% of the loan amount, which to me is, obviously nothing's for free, and when they have to charge a fee. So sometimes I'm actually able to get them just as good a rate, without having to charge that fee up front. So they end up saving money in the long run.
So it really depends on what interest rates are doing.
Exactly.
Whether it's so the higher the interest rate, the more likely you are to use the land board, the more it's going to assist you.
Correct.
The lower the rates are across the country, you may not need that assistance. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I know they offer a great program for people who need it. Certainly, VA loan has helped a lot of service members purchase homes, which is a great thing. And you cannot have more than one VA loan at a time. Is that right?
No, actually, that is not correct.
You can. Okay.
If you are moving, relocating, and you currently have a VA loan, then the customer can actually provide a lease agreement showing they're going to lease out that property.
Okay.
And then they can qualify for another VA loan as long as they haven't used up all of their eligibility.
Okay. But if they're selling that home and purchasing another one, are they able to hold both of them at the same time, or they have to close? Okay.
But they would need to close the first one that they have the VA loan on if they're not going to lease it out.
Okay.
So we could do a simultaneous close.
And what is over the lifetime for the veteran? How much can they borrow through VA?
I believe it goes up to $417,000, and that's because it's conforming. Mm-hmm. You can go higher, but then they want you to put more money down. Okay. Like I've done one that was a jumbo that they had to put 5% down in order to bring it within VA's eligibility requirements. Okay.
All right. Well, Mary, I know you do a lot of loans over here in the Spring area and really across Houston. I know you work a lot of loans. We met through Women's Council of Realtors. I know you're in our chapter of Women's Council, and you work with a lot of realtors across the city and a lot of people doing not only VA loans but FHA and conventional loans as well.
That's correct. I lend all over Texas.
Yeah, you're busy, and you're even a statewide sponsor for Women's Council, right?
Yes, I am.
So I know you got all the conventions and really involved. If people out there need to do a loan, how can they reach you? How do you want them to find you online?
My cell phone is 713-569-0025, and our office is 281-860-0025. 2533. We look forward to helping you.
All right, and they can go to thetexasmortgagepros.com to get more information on AMCAP Mortgage and Mary Papageorge. All right, thanks, Mary. We'll be right back. Well, we'll be back next Sunday at 11 o'clock with more real estate information you can use. If you missed any of today's show, go to HoustonRealEstateRadio.com.
you.